key role, I think, in global sports. For us, a first, and for Kenya, I hope, hosting this meeting allows us to build on conversations about bringing a Games to Africa, with Kenya playing a key role. In fact, Cabinet Secretary, to continue the conversations you and I have already started. Friends and colleagues, thank you to Kenya's Commonwealth Games Association President Paul Tegat and Secretary General Francis for the fantastic welcome and your brilliant hospitality. Cabinet Secretary and CGA Kenya, I cannot tell you how welcome we've been made. Thank you all so much for sharing your home, your culture, the rich history with us all. We're really grateful for your generosity and warm welcome. And President, Sec-Gens, and all from CGAs in Africa and Europe, thank you for your support and travelling to this fantastic location. It's been no hardship. I know the journey's hard, but once you're here, there's no hardship of spending some time in Mombasa. To our VPs, Colonel Botsang and Helen, thank you for chairing and your support to our CGAs since Singapore. And last but not least, thank you to Susie, Merake, Frankie, and Panova for always ensuring that athlete and CGA voices are heard within the Athletes Advisory Commission and the Sports Committee. It's so important we capture all the views coming into the board. Spending time with you all is just so valuable. Given the distance, such family gatherings are just too rare. So we must take this precious time together to work hard, discuss key issues. We all want to hear your thoughts, your context. Every voice counts. Every voice matters. And as you know me, we will draw you all of the room into these discussions. As I said, this is the first ever combined Africa and Europe meeting. And we know the next 2 days will build bridges between continents. And we look forward to seeing the strength of our movement as it collaborates across 2 regions. Late last year, you gave me the greatest honor of my life to be your president. And over the next few days, I want to share with you many ideas and show you the progress we've made right across over so many areas, from reframing the Commonwealth Games, our work on historic injustice. And as always, I want to hear your views and thoughts. As I said, every voice counts. Make space for each of us to talk, and I'm always listening. You're also very lucky now to have the dedicated resources in having Ezra working to support both regions. Her support will be critical, and has been critical, to how we continue to develop you and support you as CGAs. There is still a huge amount to be done, and we're getting onto the front foot about telling our stories, the impacts of our movement, exciting the world as we build towards 2030, our centenary. As a large part of resetting the Games has also been really about redefining the Commonwealth, placing the Games and sport at the heart of the Commonwealth. The power of sport to create a safe space, to have difficult conversations, to change mindsets, and of course, to celebrate success. Our youth are the key to our shared future, and they need to remain at our core so that we can create a resilient youth. The Games, our Games, are the largest public manifestation of the Commonwealth. We need to not sing but shout about the importance of sport to everyone in the Commonwealth. Reinforce that importance of coming together, sharing knowledge and supporting each other as we strengthen our future. And later today, we'll discuss the wealth philosophy and ideology and how we are resetting the Games. Shaping the Commonwealth, redefining the Commonwealth, all shows of what we can do beyond Games. It also shows how we've moved back into a leadership position within the Commonwealth. This family gathering allows us time to celebrate Glasgow 26, the first phase of a co-created flexible Games, a journey that includes our centenary Games in 2030 and our youth Games. Yes, we'll talk about the benefits of hosting, of coming to events, but the sustainable model will bring benefits to all of us, to all of the communities in the Commonwealth. But also, let's take another moment to celebrate 2026 and welcome the news that CJ Scotland were presenting just earlier before. So thank you all very much. Thank you, Scotland, for your innovative thinking commitment to Commonwealth sport. Over the next few days, we will discuss short-term priorities and what it looks like for our movement in 2030 up to 2034. There will be many, many highlights, all of them shaped by you. We need to raise the recognition of the power of sport within the Commonwealth. So important. Supporting all the communities in the Commonwealth. And CJ Kenya has shared with me a great initiative called Chairs Are Healthy. It focuses on the importance of physical activity and promoting wellness among young Kenyans. Your CJ Kenya is to be applauded for such an initiative. So together, let's put the Commonwealth back into Commonwealth sport by ensuring each of us in this room is confident to shout about our future. Thank you all very much, and I now have a small gift to give to the Cabinet Secretary Mark today. But thank you all, colleagues, and I look forward to talking and listening with you over the next 2 days. Thank you. Cabinet Secretary, if you join me, and then I have a small gift for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Asante sana. Mr. Chris Jenkins, the President of Commonwealth Games Federation, Mr. Donald Rukare, the Vice President, the Executive Committee members present, Mr. Dr. Paul Tergat, who is the President of the CGA Kenya, all the directors present, all delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. Am I audible enough? Thank you. Well, it's my singular honor to welcome you to Kenya for this very important meeting today. On behalf of the Kenya Sporting Fraternity, and indeed our country, I express my resounding pride as a nation to host this meeting at a time when the Commonwealth Games is undergoing an extensive remodeling. As a major stakeholder in the Games, the choice of Kenya could not have been more appropriate. The impact of the Commonwealth Games is raising our country's profile as a global force. In raising our country's profile as a global force has been very, very immense. We have, since 1954, we have won 237 medals as a country in 16 editions, and we only missed the 1986 games. This record underscores the importance we place on this tournament and sports as a whole and as a country. And therefore, I really want to welcome you. We feel part and parcel of the Commonwealth family, and we're very excited to have you, and really extremely excited to note that in the marks of history, we become the first country to be able to host this very historic meeting. And then history will be I hope history will be very kind to us. Like you've been told earlier by Mr. Mutuku, this is Mombasa. Mombasa has a lot of things to be said about it. If you find somebody from your country, as you walk around and see the sea and the beauty of Mombasa, if you find someone who tells you they have been here and they are from your country, tell you they have been here for 5 years, 10 years, don't be surprised. They just came like you. Some came for a 2 days meeting, and they're still around. So this is the beauty of Mombasa, and should you be able to choose to do what they have done, it will not be a strange thing to do. It's just normal when you come to this part of the world. And and I hope you will learn a few Kiswahili words, one of which is Jambo, which everybody now knows, and Karibu. Karibu is welcome. And so when you hear someone say Karibu or Asante, if you are from Ghana, it's not Ashanti, it's Asante. Asante is thank you very, very much. So you say thank you. Through the Commonwealth Games, we celebrate the things we have in common and appreciate the difference that makes our diversity. We have built friendships that transcend regions, race, religion, and cultures. We have competed against each other in the spirit of true sportsmanship. We have become a family called the Commonwealth family. The ideals of Commonwealth Charter continues to shape our relationships with each other and the wider world. The principles of consensus and common action, mutual respect, inclusiveness, transparency, accountability, legitimacy, and responsiveness, as are set out in the Charter, are found true expression in the Commonwealth Games. In a world that is becoming increasingly divided by ideology, religion, and geopolitics, the contribution of Commonwealth Games to the Committee of Nations cannot be overstated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commonwealth Games and the Commonwealth Youth Games have played a pivotal role in nurturing our sports talent. A majority of our world champions throughout history have competed in these games, and some have actually busted to global scene thanks to Commonwealth Games. To highlight just a few, our 2024 Paris Olympics double gold medalist winner, Beatrice Chebet, who also won gold in the women's 5,000 meters in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in 2022. Our three-time Olympic gold medalist and legend, Faith Kipyegon, won her first senior gold medal in the Glasgow Commonwealth Games in 2014. Some of our most memorable moments in sports on the world stage have also come from Commonwealth Games. The most recent is when Ms. Mary Moraa produced an incredible kick to overtake home favorite Kelly Hawkinson and Laura Muir to win gold medal in Birmingham in 2022. Our winning streak in the 3,000-meter steeplechase is one of the ages. Since 1998, Kenya has won 20 of all the 21 medals on offer in the men's steeplechase at the Commonwealth Games, and 9 out of 15 available since the women's steeplechase was introduced in the Games program in 2006. Yet, it's not only athletics that Kenya has taken to the Commonwealth Games. Our rugby sevens teams have performed admirably in the Commonwealth Games. The legend himself is here, Humphrey Kayange. Thank you very much. With the men's team achieving a notable bronze medal in the 2016 Games in Glasgow. The women's team has also been on the rise, competing strongly in recent tournaments. Kenya has also had a strong boxing tradition with athletes like the late Robert Wangila, winning country's first Olympic gold in boxing in 1988. In the Commonwealth Games, Kenya boxers have won several medals over the years. While not as dominant as in athletics, Kenya swimmers have participated and earned a few medals in the various events. Kenya has made strides in wrestling, with some athletes performing well and earning medals in different weight categories. Our participation in sports like netball and basketball has been less prominent, but there have been efforts to improve performance in these areas, an effort which we must keep making in order to expand our offering of the global stage. Kenya's participation in Commonwealth Games, therefore, highlights our prowess in athletics with a growing presence in other sports. In fact, our responsibility in this administration is to make sure that we grow the sport in terms of diversification in this country. And that is the role that the CGA president here has, and the new president of the federation, please hold his hand, because as a country, we would like to diversify further. You saw those young men who are dancing here. If we can be able to diversify further in this country, we're going to take care of so many young people. You very well know that in the continent of Africa, and I'm speaking for CGAs who are here from other parts of the continent, our biggest challenge as a continent is the bulging population. and the fact that we have almost 70% of the population of Africa being young people, which presents both an opportunity and a challenge for us. And therefore, sports and games and our CGAs, but also the federation, we have a challenge. And this is good because, on the other hand, Europe doesn't have the young population that we have. We can, this cultural exchange, this opportunity for us to have this discourse, we can welcome the federations and the associations from Europe to find ways of investing even further in sports and games in this continent so that we can be able to tap into the potential that is in young people, which is an opportunity, which if not managed well, it can also become a challenge. That as we've seen unrests, coups, and problems that we have sometimes in countries that are restless because of young people. And when I speak about diversification, Omanyala is here. We've never, as a country, ever had 100 meters sensation like him. And we believe that he's among the people. We have also a gentleman, Diego, in javelin. So there are certain events in this country that we can benefit from your partnership and investment. You have the technology, you have the know-how, we have the human resource, and we can be able to partner together to make a difference as two federations, as the federation from Africa and the ones in Europe. But even with our enviable record in this competition, it's a little bit disheartening that we have never competed before our home crowd, or an African soil for that matter. As the competition clocks 100 years in 2030, we should mark the anniversary with a competition in the African continent. With the scaling down of the size of games, the economic responsibility of hosting the tournament has reduced tremendously. Africa 2030 is therefore not far-fetched. I call upon Commonwealth Games Federation to give it a very serious thought. I told you, Chris, earlier that is one thing we request from you, that as we mark 2030, even this meeting, the resolution of this meeting should actually say that Africa should host 2030. 100 years down the line, we are ready as African countries. We should be ready as African countries. If we hosted the World Cup, we should be ready to host. And when I say so, it's not to go to South Africa. Yeah. I'm just saying so. As we speak, the East African countries of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania will jointly host the Africa Cup of Nations, a continental football tournament in 2027. I'm tempted to declare a joint bid for also Commonwealth in 2030 after this very important experience. So that the flavor that Africa adds to our sporting bonanza, you all know is unique, and we can be able to share together. The buzz of vuvuzelas, like in 2010 World Cup in South Africa, still rings in our minds, and therefore we need to enjoy this diversity as Commonwealth Association Federation. The fact that we need to expand our offering at the Commonwealth Games and other international tournaments cannot be gainsaid. In order to present more disciplines, our federation needs to partner with the private sector. This partnership can entail funding and sponsorship. National federations can seek partnership with private companies. This funding can be used to enhance training facilities, provide better coaching, and support athletes. Businesses can be encouraged to invest in sport as part of the CSR initiatives, fostering community engagement and brand visibility. And this can actually happen and will happen if this partnership between Europe and Africa can be enhanced further. If there's something I really, let me just say this, for emphasis sake, I am not just cabinet secretary for sports. I'm a sports enthusiast. Yeah, I am a fan to start with. I used to cheer Paul many years ago when he was a very lethal man. He still owes us a gold medal in some event I don't want to repeat here. We have had a discussion with him about it. And therefore, I know, especially from the advantage that we get, how Europe has invested in sports. I wish we will have a session in future facilitated by the CGS from Europe for us, even if it is myself and our federation and our federations from this continent, to have a session with your investors in the sports sector in Europe, because you have the technology know-how, and you've done this over and over again, produced you know how to turn sports into business. We have immense potential here. And I want to try to emphasize, if you look at a country like Nigeria, I don't know if Nigeria is here, or anybody from Nigeria is here, yes. If you look at a country like Nigeria, with the population they have, the physique, the West Africans, and they can produce more sprinters than the United States because it has a bigger population than US of the, I'm trying to be very polite, but I'm looking for a word to say. But they can produce great sprinters. And some who have from Nigeria to go to other countries in the world. Just imagine if that investment from other people with technology would be put in Africa. We would have more athletes coming from this continent. Also, greater investment can be put here to diversify. Yeah. So as you go back as federations, as associations from Europe, I want to challenge Chris. If you do organize for us a forum with potential investors in sports sector as Commonwealth, that will be the other additional value besides just organizing events that you can help African countries to market themselves and attract investments that they can come here and invest. Cote d'Ivoire, for example, we know the story of how Drogba and the team became that very successful team in Cote d'Ivoire. It's because there was an investor who put a very good academy for sports. And so this is the things that I really want to insist that we can partner together. In Kenya, we have our Kenya Academy of Sports, a very young association, and we think that we can benefit more by partnering with Commonwealth Federation and also associations in Europe. We also think about talent development, if we can cooperate in talent development. We can also cooperate in the areas of coaching and expertise exchange. Workshops and clinics led by expert coaches from different federations to share techniques and training methodologies will go a long way. It's also critical to set up a mentorship opportunities where experienced athletes will guide younger or less experienced athletes in order to foster a culture of excellence. We also think about marketing and promotion. If we can do joint marketing to raise awareness about various sports disciplines and attract more participants, it will be really great for us. In fact, one of the reasons why I insist, Mr. President, that you should think about Africa is because as soon as an African country hosts these very important games, we will be, as a matter of necessity, be forced to expand the disciplines that we are going to participate in, and therefore grow new areas of sports for the continent, so that we don't only depend on sprinting, running, and athletics. And also in the area we can partner in the area of research and development. There is need to partner with academic institutions or private firms to conduct research on athlete performance and develop data-driven training program. Joint initiatives with sports science organization to improve athlete health, nutrition, and psychological preparation are also key in achieving more representation in the discipline. I have been a proponent since I came to office of universities participating in sports far more. Again, this is the tradition in the countries of Europe, which is not being seen well here in Africa. I don't want to speak for other African countries, but I can almost speak for you because I have a fairly good experience. Other than South Africa and a few other countries that have fairly university teams and active university teams, most of us, including our country, do not produce sportsmen and women from colleges and universities. Yet in Europe and the US, most of your sportsmen and women come from colleges and universities. There's a missing link. Yet we all know that education institutions are the best place to find young people if we are really pushing for universal education for everybody. I want to request that, Mr. President, again, sorry to load you with all this, that this meeting and future engagements should foster ways of pairing together universities and colleges in Europe and the ones in Africa to see ways of encouraging this research and development and partnerships that are going to help our young people to have necessary knowledge and education in this sector. Again, this will be additional value, and I'm very glad that you are new in your tenure. I'm giving you tips on how to expand your legacy in this area. I have another two other things to say, and then I'll end. Don't start saying that this man is talking forever. On policy advocacy and support, the Federation can also collaborate in advocating for governmental and institutional support for sports at all levels, ensuring sustainability of funding and resources. And in Kenya, we have a very good partnership with the association, the Commonwealth Association, and other federations of other disciplines and sports. And this is extremely important. The idea that, the idea that we can have full autonomy of the federation and government on that side should not really happen. This is a symbiotic relationship, and we should be able to find ways of working together to make sure that sports, and particularly for countries like Africa, where government still has a stronghold in all areas of development, we haven't really diversified and divested to areas of private sector as such. It's important that this partnership is expanded. As I conclude, let me commend the leadership of the Commonwealth Games Federation and the associations for continuing to successfully stage the competition even during difficult economic times. As the Minister of Sports in Kenya, I am giving you my assurance that Kenya is committed to the Commonwealth Games, and our commitment is unwavering. We are ready to unleash our best sportsmen and women for Glasgow 2026. Once again, welcome to Kenya. Enjoy the great hospitality of this country has to offer, the magical beauty and the serenity of the coastal region. Above all, I wish you a very, very, very productive meeting. Asanteni sana, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, our Cabinet Secretary. Thank you. Our Cabinet Secretary does not only love sports, but he ran the last marathon. He ran 10 kilometers quite well and finished. Congratulations. Thank you, Dr. Chris, for your remarks, and our President, Dr. Paul Tegart. Before I hand over